Okay, Outlander fans, Season 8 premieres this Friday. I'm going to be recapping episode 15 and 16, the last two episodes of Season 7, which I would think are probably the most important as far as what we're going to see in Season 8. I've recapped all of Season 7, so if you haven't seen my previous recaps, make sure and go check those out. Let's get right into episode 15. It's dawn on the day of the Battle of Monmouth, and Jamie can't sleep. The last thing he said to William was in anger, and he's worried that he'll never get to tell him that he loves him. Claire steadies him, and then he promises Claire that this will not be the day of his death, and then he walks into battle. Claire wants to throw herself into her work, but the camp doctor won't let her operate inside of the church hospital because she's a woman. Claire and Rachel then start working triage outside until Claire proves that she's the most capable surgeon there. Then the British advance and everyone evacuates except Claire. She stays there with the patients who aren't able to be moved. Meanwhile, William is rescued from the Hessians by Lord John and William. After he's rescued, Lord John and William clash over Jamie. Lord John tells William that he could have a much worse sire. It explains to William how much Jamie means to him and how great of a man he actually is. William's still upset over the whole thing. It doesn't really click for him yet. William is back at the British camp when Fanny runs up to him, frantic, asking where he's been. William doesn't know what's going on. Fanny tells him that Jane was arrested and is going to be hanged. There's a soldier at the brothel that recognized her that night that she killed Captain Harkness, and she was taken away. Back in 1739, Roger finally tells Buck the truth. He tells him that Galis is actually his mother and she's a time traveler, and that's why he can travel, and that Buck's father is actually Dougal Mackenzie. Buck is furious that Roger kept that from him. Roger apologizes and tells Buck that he needs help with one last thing in this time period. Roger wants to return to Lollybrock and leave a letter there for Bree to find centuries later, letting her know that they ended up in the wrong time period and they are currently in 1739. In the 1980s, Bree miraculously finds this letter and immediately prepares to return back through the stones. Then chaos erupts. Back at the camp, as the British retreat, gunshots are fired and Claire is shot. Jamie absolutely unravels. Believing that Claire's dying, Jamie resigns his commission by signing his name in Claire's blood on the bare back of a soldier. Claire is refusing to give up. She orders Denzel to operate on her and uses moldy cheese as a primitive antibiotic. Denzel looks at Jamie and says, "Jamie, pray." Episode 16, the finale of Season 7. Claire survives the gunshot wound, but it's a little touch and go there for a minute. He refuses to leave her side, is praying over her, is completely wrecked at the thought of possibly losing her again. And while Claire is unconscious, she has this almost spiritual encounter with Master Raymond. And remember, we have not seen Master Raymond since Season 2. He appears at her bedside and he asks for forgiveness. He says, "One day you'll understand." When Claire wakes up, she's really confused about that encounter with Master Raymond, and she's still weak from her surgery, but she's still very much Claire and analyzing her own injuries. Lord John comes to see her, and Claire thanks him for everything that he did for her. Jamie's standing there, clearly hating how much history is between the two of them, but everyone behaves. An update on the Mackenzies. Bree, Jemmy, and Mandy make it through the stones and have the sweetest reunion with Roger. They have a conversation about what time period they should live in, but they don't make any decisions in this episode. And then Bree has a really sweet conversation with her grandfather, Brian Fraser. He obviously doesn't know who Bree really is, but he tells Bree how much she reminds him of his wife, Ellen. Back at the camp, William shows up and asks Jamie for his help in saving Jane. William and Jamie race off to save her, but when they get there, they find that she has already taken her own life. William is shattered, and Jamie takes the shackles off of Jane and cuts a piece of Jane's hair and says that it's to give to her little sister Fanny. See lights approaching, and they quickly have to get out of there before anyone sees them. Back at the hospital, Jamie fills Claire in on everything that happened, Jane's death, and the existence of Fanny. Not long after, William brings Fanny to meet them. She is so grief-stricken, and immediately Jamie gives Fanny the lock of Jane's hair and tells her that she is welcome to come live with them. Fanny asks Jamie if they can claim Jane's body, and he promises that he will call in a favor to make that happen. When they're finally alone, William asks Jamie for the truth. He tells William that he did not force Geneva, but however she was very young and her death is something that he will forever carry guilt about. Then William asks Jamie if he's sorry for it. He says that he will do penance for his part in Geneva's death for the rest of his life. However, he does not regret that it happened. And the reason is unspoken but obvious. If it weren't for that night, he would not have William. William is almost in tears. Jamie is too. But William tells Jamie that he will never call him father and walks away. It's raw, and it's one of the most heartbreaking father-son scenes I've ever seen on this show. Happier news. Ian and Rachel share that they are expecting a baby and decide that they're going to live at Fraser's Ridge. But that doesn't last long because shortly after that, Ian's dog Rollo dies. Now for the part that changes everything. Fraser's learned that Jane wasn't given a proper burial and that she was placed in an unmarked grave. It completely devastates Fanny. Claire tries to comfort her and asks her about memories of Jane. That's when Fanny pulls out a locket that belonged to their mother, and engraved on the back is their mother's name, Faith. And remember, Faith is the name of Claire and Jamie's daughter, who they lost in Season 2. Claire freezes at that, and It could be a coincidence, but then things get really wild. As they're preparing to leave for North Carolina, Claire finds Fanny singing to herself in the church. And the song she's singing is I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside. Fanny says that her mother used to sing her this song. And then they show flashbacks of Claire in season 2 in Paris, holding her stillborn baby Faith, singing that exact same song. And here's the thing, that song was not written until 1907 and wasn't recorded until 1909. There is no possible way that it should exist in the 1700s. Claire starts to spiral. You can see all the pieces clicking into place. Then Jamie walks in and asks Claire what's wrong. And Claire says, I think Faith lived. I think our daughter lived. And that's how season 7 ends, with the possibility that the daughter that they buried may not have been buried at all.